back to another episode at the U. Today, we're going to be doing a little mock draft. Combine just got done this past weekend over in Indy. Another exciting year. A lot of prospects doing some cool things. Boli, what are your thoughts? Going into this little mock draft we're about to do.
I mean, man, it's still a little early, obviously, but I mean, there's a lot to be talked about. A lot of new things going out on the boards. But today we want to just talk about if every team just kept their pick, no trading allowed. If all was to end right now, this is how the mock draft would look.
Yeah, so like you said, no trades.
No trading.
The draft was today. This is how we would draft it as NFL GMs. So, without further ado, shall we get started?
Yes, sir. Chicago Bears, you are on the clock.
Man. Okay, so I'll be drafting number 1 overall for the Bears, assuming obviously they're keeping the pick here. If you ask me, this is a one or the other here between Will Anderson Jr. and Jalen Carter. I mean, Jalen Carter brings an insane skill set to the table in the middle there. He's a monster. The physical prowess is ridiculous. His ability to be so quick is just unreal. And then you have Will Anderson Jr., who has arguably been the best defensive end in college football for the last 2 or 3 seasons. I mean, the guy is an absolute animal. Man, so if I were the Bears, they traded Robert Quinn midway through last season. Khalil Mack was there for a while for them. Jalen Carter's been in the news recently for some not so great reasons. So with that being said, the number 1 overall pick for the Chicago Bears is going to be Will Anderson Jr. Now, the Houston Texans and Boli are on the clock.
All right, so if I am the Houston Texans GM, I know I need a quarterback here. Obviously there's big names, right, to talk about. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and now Anthony Richardson, who's been flying up draft boards. He's been looking great in the combine.
Insane.
But if I'm the Houston Texans, I'm looking for a little bit more of a promise, and more of a little bit of a safe keep. Texans haven't had a good quarterback since Deshaun Watson, but how that went down. If I am the Houston Texans, I'm going to take Bryce Young. He's proven the most out of any of these quarterbacks, and yeah, I feel like that's nothing else really to talk about.
100%. You nailed it right on the head there. Stroud and Young, it's kind of a toss-up. I agree with you. I think Bryce Young is definitely the more accomplished and NFL-ready quarterback as of right now. All right, Arizona Cardinals, number 3. They need help in any way they can get it. Obviously, quarterback's not in play here because they have to hope and pray that Kyler Murray is the answer. I think you just go best overall here, and to me, it's Jalen Carter. You can't fall past this, in my opinion, unless another team were to trade up, but it's not happening today. Jalen Carter, welcome to Arizona.
Now with the Colts at the 4th pick, also looking for a quarterback. Matt Ryan is just out the door. They really have nobody else back there. They gotta look for a rebuild. So I think the right pick here is C.J. Stroud, but I think the Colts do something a little bit crazy. They have a crazy GM. They have a crazy office right now. Who knows what the Colts are doing? I think they're gonna roll the dice, and I think they're gonna take Anthony Richardson.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go before Stroud. I mean, I think it's crazy, but I think it's gonna happen. Richardson's been flying up boards. Everyone's talking about him. He's the quarterback to talk about.
Wow.
I think the Colts do it. I think they're the team to gamble on him.
You shocked me.
Yeah.
Wow. Right? Why not though? Right? It's fun.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? Listen, AR-15 is looking like a dog.
Oh yeah.
A dog. I mean, 4.44. He's dropping in buckets, dropping it right in the bucket.
You see that one pass where he just launched it, dude, like 60
absolutely.
yards. Crazy,
It's in Indy's building. They're not going to see that and want him to leave. Stroud had a good day too, but Jim Irsay's crazy. He hired his best friend as the head coach for a few games last year. So, You know what? I agree with your logic there. Picked just number 5 overall pick in Seattle. Now, this is kind of an interesting pick here because they don't. I mean, you could make the case to draft a project quarterback, but it's not going to matter for 3 years, right? They have Geno, who's going to be there for the next 3 years. Shout out Geno for getting the bag. 150 million, right?
Dude,
or 100
100
million. 3 years, right?
Mil.
Something like that. Good for you, Geno Smith.
Yeah, props, man.
So now you contemplate what side of the ball do we help out? I mean, they had a pretty good draft class last year.
100%.
100%. I think it was one of the better classes.
Yeah, I mean, Tariq Woolley showed up.
Charles Cross, Kenneth
Yeah,
Walker. I
Kenneth
think Abraham
Walker.
Lucas was their other tackle who ended up being very good.
Okay.
I think you look at the defensive side of the ball here.
I think so too.
And, I mean, you see a guy like Miles Murphy who lit it up at Clemson. He's been very solid. You have the guy from Texas Tech. I'm blanking on the name. Tyree Wilson. He's also great. But I think it's Murphy. I think Miles Murphy's going to be the pick here from Clemson. Playing over in Seattle, opposite Nwosu, who had a great year last year for Seattle. So I think they can make some sparks fly next year, and it'll be exciting. Miles Murphy to Seattle.
Okay, now with Detroit at 6, same thing like with Seattle. It's like kind of like what side of the ball do you want to focus on more? Obviously, Detroit's defense is just lackluster. Their offense obviously has some star names with DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra, Jared Goff, obviously, who isn't a star player, but he didn't
Gets the job done.
Gets the
Seriously gets the job done.
He gets the job done. I think they do look for a corner, honestly, best overall defensive player. I think they're gonna go for a corner here. I'm liking the guy from Penn State. I forget his name right now.
Joey Porter.
Joey Porter. I like him a lot. I don't know. Penn State names don't really fly off the board like that. But I'm going to go with my guy Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. I mean, I just love how he's been playing. He's, all-around stud. Can get the job done, and I think he could bring a spark to Detroit and their defense.
Absolutely. That's a great pick. I mean, Porter's great. Don't get me wrong. Gonzalez is by far. I mean, he's flying up people's boards right now.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Great zone defense. Can play the man-to-man. How about Jeff Okudah out there?
Yeah, I was going to say pair him up with Okudah. But, I mean, I have seen that the Lions are trying to get Jalen Ramsey, so.
Wow. Yeah, it would be big.
That would be big.
I don't think you think it would. Real quick, we're going to go on a quick tangent real quick. What was Jalen Ramsey trade by? You think he gets a first-round pick?
Oh, 100%. I think he's a first-round. I think he's a first-round pick. I would say even more. Gotcha. Jalen Ramsey's been that guy for a few years. Obviously, he's slowing down, but
that he has.
I mean, if I'm the Rams GM, I'm asking for a first-round pick.
Yeah.
How can you not?
This puts me in a great position. We're at the 7th pick, and it's the Oakland Raiders. All they do is seem to pick these people in the draft that never pan out, or they just take some wild flyer. They have it handed to them here. Handed to them. If you're the Raiders, barring any crazy trade, I mean, didn't happen yet because we're obviously using no trades, but you have the opportunity to draft C.J. Stroud the way the board's falling right now. It's you pick up the phone, you tell Roger Goodell who you're picking, and you hang it up immediately because it's C.J. Stroud. He's going to get to play with Devontae Adams out in Vegas. Should be a good spot for the kid to go play. He's got a good running back. Offensive line's not bad. Hopefully Darren Waller can stay on the field. And, that'd be cool. C.J. Stroud playing in Vegas. I'd like to see that. It'd be something to be interesting to watch. Better than the Colts, I think. So there's that. Okay. Falcons on the board.
Oh, Falcons, boy. Yeah, wow. Oh, boy's right. Young defense. They got, A.J. Terrell out there. I think it's more of wow, what is going on with our offense? We just drafted Drake London. We got Kyle Pitts, who's out for majority of the season. But I'm thinking you're trying to protect your future quarterback, who's right now Desmond Ridder. All I gotta say is, he didn't really do the best. But if I'm the Falcons GM, I'm not gonna give up on him. I would try to pursue probably a more established quarterback, if anything, to help him develop. So I think this pick here is kind of simple. It's gonna be Paris Johnson Jr. from Ohio State. Maybe help him out, help protect what's his name, Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the receivers, he's got the corpse out there,
definitely.
Helping him. So if you get some protection, maybe you can show a little bit more value. But right 100%. Now, I think you got to take the best player on the board, and that would be Paris Johnson Jr.
Great pick, Boli. Like that. Definitely like that. That'll help Kyle Pitts a little bit too. He'll be able to run some more routes. Probably won't have to worry about doubling as much.
100%.
Yeah, good pick there. All right, Carolina, number 9. Oh my gosh. Now, I don't know why. Personally, I'm not a big Will Levis guy by any means, but he seems to be flying up people's boards for some reason. The guy drinks mayo in his coffee. That really disgusts me. Oh, wow. But, I mean, I have him ranked number 9 on my prospect list. Carolina has the 9th pick, so let's just say, to heck with it. Will Levis, go ahead. You can play in Charlotte this year. Congratulations, you're a Carolina Panther if I was the GM.
All right.
Number 10.
Number 10, the Eagles. Wow, what a great season from them this year. It shocked most people.
Yeah.
There's one thing I got to say, though. Eagles fans, I know you're an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not an Eagles fan, but the defense for the Super Bowl, you guys were, chirping everyone that your defense is this, that.
Myself included.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that for the Super Bowl. Chiefs, threw the ball all over them. I think they're looking for quarterback, and like I said earlier, I love my man Joey Porter Jr., and I think the Eagles can take the risk on him.
Definitely.
Obviously he's from Penn State, a little younger.
Local guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think he's a local guy. I think they, have the room, for people to grow in their defense, and, he would get minutes right away. So I think he would, it would be a great fit. Darius Slay's out there helping him. And yeah, I think Joey Porter's the pick here. Makes the most sense in my eyes.
Great pick there, especially because, in all likelihood, James Bradbury's not going to be back with the Eagles this year.
Yeah.
Not even because of the holding call, just because he proved this year he could play definitely at a high level, so he's going to command some money.
Yeah.
Good pick. Tennessee Titans. This is another, who do I even pick here? They need all the help they can get. They probably are not going to have a competent quarterback this year. Ryan Tannehill's been going through all kinds of injury problems. He's not that great to begin with. Derrick Henry's probably going to get traded this offseason. They just let go of Taylor Lewan. It's a mess over there in Nashville. I don't know. I think the best way you start, though, you got to... Quarterbacks are what wins in the NFL now. Everyone knows it. They're not in a position to take a quarterback here. But, hey, sometimes you just got to, give a quarterback something to be interested in, to come to your team. So I'm thinking maybe it's going to have to be definitely offensive player here. I just don't know whether I think they should beef up front, especially because Taylor Lewan just left, or maybe they go the wide receiver route. But I'm gonna say build it from the trenches, especially if you don't want to trade Derrick Henry. Give him someone who can block up front. Broderick Jones from Georgia is an absolute menace.
Oh yeah.
Played on a national championship team. He says dog. Huge, worse than neck roll. That guy can. He's just a people mover. He is a people mover.
And he can move, man. He's fast.
He's fast as hell. That's a SEC guy. He's right in the area. Keep him around, and definitely take Broderick Jones there.
Oh yeah. Now at 12, we are back with the Houston Texans. Again, best player available right now, and honestly, first receiver taken off the board, and it's going to be Jordan Addison from USC. Now, what I like about Addison is that he is a primary receiver. He wants volume. He wants the ball. Brandon Cooks is obviously trying to get out of Houston, and I think this is a perfect time for Jordan Addison to actually prove himself. He's young. Obviously, he wants the ball. What better than, anyone throwing him the ball other than Bryce Young. So I think it will be perfect. Two young guys, and hopefully they gain chemistry throughout the year.
Absolutely. He proved himself at USC, especially after Pittman left. He became the guy there.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Played in the Pac-12. He's always good there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why not, right? He's one of the most NFL-ready receivers.
Yeah, and he's fast. He can make a move on anyone.
Definitely. Man. They were saying, though, a lot of people were saying they were expecting a better 40 time from him. I think he ran a 4.59 his first run, but then he was in the 4.4s again.
Okay.
And he's ran that 4.44. Listen, Jordan Addison, great pick. Most NFL-ready receiver. I like it. The New York Jets at the 13th overall pick. Who knows if they will have this pick on draft day, but they have this pick today. I think it has to be offensive line. The Jets have hit home on the money in the last two drafts in the first round. Sauce Gardner was the best cornerback in the NFL, arguably, last year. Picked him 4th overall. Garrett Wilson, 10th overall. Back 2 rookies of the year. You can't do a better job than that. Jets had 2 injuries on the offensive line last year that ultimately definitely were a reason the season became the downfall that it did. Elijah Vera Tucker going down against the Broncos was bad, especially because Breece Hall went down the same game. Mekhi Becton has not been a consistent as far as his availability. So I think you look to the offensive line here, definitely. They're not going to draft a quarterback here. Everyone wants the Jets to get a new quarterback. They're not going to. The Jets have proven they can't draft quarterbacks. All right, Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson have been utter disappointments. So the Jets do what they do best and pick a player that's not a quarterback in the first round because it seems to be working for Joe Douglas. And we're going to go with our guy from Northwestern, Peter Skronsky. He's been flying up boards recently. This is about where people see him going. Some people say he can go as high as to the Raiders. But the way our board falls, Skronsky ends up on the Jets. They get themselves a nice buff guy up front to protect whoever's playing quarterback there next year, whether it's Mike White, Zach Wilson, hopefully not for all our Jets fans, and for our dreamers out there, maybe Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson. So that's what I got going on in East Rutherford, New Jersey, not New York, but all right, the Patriots.
Great pick. I think that's what the Jets do there too as well. Patriots, I think this is a very easy pick for them. Also, the best receiver on the board, other than Jordan Addison. I feel like it's a 1-2.
Yeah, definitely 1A, 1B.
Yeah, exactly. Quentin Johnson from TCU, obviously has proven himself as a top receiver. You know, they made the national championship game, which was a complete shock. Obviously, did not go their way.
It was a complete shock.
But yeah, no, he was averaging 22 yards per reception, which is crazy. You know, deep threat, middle route guy, can get open at any given moment.
Fast. That's
Yeah,
what I think.
exactly. Fast.
Big
too.
and fast. 6'4". Great pick. Remember that catch he had against freaking Michigan, that little 2-yard dump that Max Duggan gave him? He took it to the house, 76 yards or something.
Exactly.
He's making plays, and that's what Mac Jones needs. That's a great pick.
Exactly. It gives Mac Jones a premier weapon at wide receiver. I mean, how could you not go wrong? Their wide receiver corps has been good and young, but I feel like Quentin Johnson is that big splash there.
Be the star. 100% be the star there.
Big time.
Great pick.
Thank you.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. So who knows who's going to be playing quarterback there this year? The complaint has always been, get Rodgers weapons. And, you know, they've been doing a decent job with that. I love Christian Watson. I think he's fantastic. But, however, Green Bay is in a bit of a pickle this year. I don't know whether they should address there because they're right here in the middle of the draft. You can address defense here, definitely. There's a lot of good guys still. Obviously, we just had a big run on tackles and receivers over these last couple of picks. Quarterbacks are gone, but I think they're going to roll with whoever they have in-house anyway. I would definitely consider an edge guy here. You know, they took I think Jalen Wyatt from Georgia on the interior last year, who wasn't great this year. Quay Walker, who they took with the linebacker from Georgia last year, was good. So I think you would keep developing that, you know, that front seven through the draft here. And I think Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech, this is where he gets the call. He showed some big promise over at Texas Tech playing in the Big 12 there. Why not send him to go get after Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff and all those other guys back there, Justin Fields, whoever it may be.
Oh, yeah.
Get him in the NFC North and let him go wreak havoc on quarterbacks up there.
Oh, yeah. I like that pick a lot. And now with our pick number 16 here with the Commanders, I know that they need a cornerback. Their defense is great. Their front seven, awesome. You know, Chase Young, I mean, I feel so bad. He was out for, like, majority of the season. He probably played, like, 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
But, man, do they need a cornerback? And I think they take Kelly Ringo here from Georgia.
Definitely good pick.
I mean, Georgia, obviously, their defense was crazy this year. He was definitely in the mix of their top cornerbacks, defensive 100%. Backs. Obviously, no disappointment here. I think Washington will be very happy with this pick. And honestly, he's physical. He could disrupt a lot of play, and I think that's what Washington can use.
Tackle too.
A nice big cornerback that could play physical. I think is Washington's whole game plan here.
You need it to cover AJ Brown and all those other guys out in the NFC East. Great pick. I like that a lot. Definitely like that a lot. All right, that brings us to the Steel City in Pittsburgh. I don't know. A lot of people are saying they should go for a receiver here. I kind of dig that, the whole Deontay Johnson and George Pickens thing. I like that a lot.
I do too.
I think they need some help up front, definitely. Definitely something to keep an eye on. They definitely could use some buffing of the offensive line. You got guys like DeJuan Jones, who's been a prominent force opposite of Paris Johnson over at Ohio State, who I think can come in and make this Steelers offensive line better immediately. That's what I'm leaning towards. However, I would definitely be mistaken if I didn't think about Darnell Washington from Georgia. Do I think that's going to be the pick? Not at all. I mean, they have Pat Freiermuth, who's great. But it definitely makes there a little bit of excitement to give Kenny Pickett another guy to throw to. Darnell Washington's a great run blocker as well. But That's just my dream. I'm not a Steelers fan, and that might be a Steelers fan's dream, but DeJuan Jones has to be the pick here. That's what I said originally. That's what I'm sticking with. Help out Kenny Pickett, get him a solidified tackle. Let him cook. Give him some time back there. Maybe he can make some plays with Pickens next year. That'd be fun to watch.
100%. Now it's funny enough. The Lions have the next pick after, and they are going to take Darnell Washington from Georgia.
Good pick.
Like he said, he can block right up in there. He's a big physical player. Detroit obviously needs that. They just got rid of Hawkinson, and, they're looking for a tight end. Why not shoot for a star and, hope it works out? I think it can work out. He's great for the run block. He can run out, get some passes here and there, but,
Big, strong guy.
Strong guy. Physical, man. He down in the trenches, man. He knows how to play. So I think that's what the Lions want, and I think that's what the Lions will get at pick number 18.
100%. That's a great pick there. It'll make that offensive line, which is already outstanding, very well, even better. That run game is going to be something. It's always been good. Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift.
Oh, yeah.
Darnell Washington will help out in that facet of the game and definitely the pass game. That's a great pick. I like that. I can see that. Darnell Washington in Detroit, right? 100%. Oh, yeah. All right, Tampa Bay. Oh, my goodness. They're going to be very bad next year. That's my prediction, but we'll get to that another time. What do they need? What don't they need is really the question.
True. They need everything, man.
They need everything. Oh, man. I could see them. I don't know what I could see them doing. They're going to be in a rebuild. That is no question. Oh, man. Maybe. All right. If hypothetically, if trades were allowed, this might be a spot where they trade back and guys and picks in the late round. But who knows? They said they're expecting to release Leonard Fournette. So Bijan Robinson, who's been one of the great running backs in college football over the last few years. Let's go out on a limb here. This is usually when the first running back will go anyway. We'll see. Bijan Robinson goes to the Buccaneers, plays a spark for whoever's going to be a quarterback who could definitely use that quick handoff or that little dump pass, because who knows what their quarterback's going to be next year. That'll help out whoever's playing under center there. Bijan Robinson, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay. A little different. I'm not going to lie. I think Bijan Robinson's a great player, though. I don't know about the Bucs, but who knows?
Not me neither, man.
But hey,
best available. You know what I mean?
Of course. So. The Bucs need just about anything, man. They're down bad after Brady, man. All right. Well, with number 20, it's the Seattle Seahawks. Dude, they surprised literally everyone this year. Geno Smith balled out. Great year. He proved himself again, which is awesome. Comeback player, man. I love to see it. Now the defense was also pretty good, surprisingly, as well. I think they could use help. They got young guys up there, and I think that they're going to, get another young guy out there. I think that they're going to go with Brian Brees, defensive tackle from Clemson, big body, plays physical, can definitely get him up in that mix over there and, cause disturbance from the O-line and just, a huge point of attack power, just get right in there, physical, fast. I think that's what Seattle wants. Get more pressure to the quarterback, be a real threat on defense, and when they got the ball, they can score with Metcalf and Lockett. So.
Definitely. Brian Brissie, definitely, dude, pair up with his teammate that we took over, I think, at number 5 overall, Miles Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Little Clemson duo. Hey, it's a great story. Helps that Seahawks defensive line, is, if there's a weak spot on the defense, that's definitely it. So, definitely, I like that pick a lot there, Boli. That's a good pick. The Chargers. The Chargers. 28-0, 27-0, right?
Oh, I don't even
Lost that game?
About it. I don't even want to talk about it, man. Terrible.
Man. So they got options here. Keelan Allen is probably going to be a cap casualty this offseason. So I think receiver is definitely an option here. Mike Williams was a dog, so he's going to definitely still be there. He just got re-signed, I think, last year or 2 off seasons ago. He's going to be around. Josh Palmer showed he can be great. So, you know what? You got Justin Herbert, who's proven to be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. I think you go out and you get one of the top receivers on the board, Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's been great at Ohio State. Ohio State just seems to be putting out great receiver after great receiver. We've had, in the past 10 years from there, at least I can remember we had Mike Thomas,
Oh yeah.
Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, recently Chris Olave, and with Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. Yeah, big name.
There's definitely more I'm missing, so please forgive me. But listen, they're getting it done out there. Smith and Jigba's next, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be fun to watch again next year, and he'll definitely be in this mix of the top 20 probably for next year's draft. So Jackson Smith and Jigba to the Chargers. That's what I got going on. Brings us to Baltimore at 22.
Baltimore. If you guys watch the podcast, you know I'm a huge Ravens fan. If that pick before was to happen in real life, I would cry. We need a wide receiver. We need a guy that can go out there and just change that whole wide receiver corps. It's not bad. It's young, obviously, but like a guy like Jackson Smith and Najee would literally change that whole offense around. If I'm the Ravens GM, I'm literally so mad that just happened.
Definitely a tough spot.
So now what I thought would happen is I would want a receiver, but I'm not gonna risk the take on Jalen Hyatt. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at defensive side of the ball. I mean, their cornerbacks are getting older, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you could take a shot with somebody out there in defense. I mean, I don't think it'll kill you guys, but I think it's going to be Devin Witherspoon from Illinois. Proved himself this year. Very physical. Hands to the ball, hands to the player all time. You know, I think you could literally compare him, not to Sauce, but somebody like that. Like somebody that mentality where you can literally just get up there and play physical. You're always just strapped to your man all the time.
The outside, that's his.
That could change Baltimore's defense and make it that like no-fly zone type of thing again. So, I think that's our pick here for the Ravens at 22.
Definitely.
Devin Witherspoon.
I like that. I like that a lot. You know, they signed Marcus Williams at safety last year, and then also drafted Kyle Hamilton. So that seems to be maybe like a little role model type of deal. Maybe this can be Marlon Humphrey and Devin Witherspoon's situation going on. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Vikings at 23. I'm thinking, man, their defense seemed to be one of the downfalls last year. They had the worst point differential for a team to have over 11 wins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's definitely got to be a point of emphasis here. Take a look at defense. So let's see what we got left. I mean, you have some guys left on the edge, like Lucas Van Ness from Iowa, who was absolutely insane.
Dog.
Insane. That guy is 300 pounds and has a full-on six-pack. I've never seen anything like it. I think if you are Minnesota here, keep the guy. I'm pretty sure Iowa's close to Minnesota, right, geographically?
Yeah, I think so.
Keep him in the area. Get that big beast on the outside. Lucas Van Ness, welcome to the Minnesota Vikings, the Purple People Eaters. He'll definitely be a Purple People Eater. That guy's going to wreak havoc out there in the NFC North.
I think that's a great pick there, honestly. I think that's very, reasonable for them. But now moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and a guy that kind of fell down the board a little bit, Brian Branch, from Alabama, great safety. I think the Jaguars definitely need help defensively. Throw a young guy there at safety, be a little ball hawk type of player. He's fast, he can get to the ball, he knows how to pick people off. I think this is a great pick for Jacksonville. People got him going a little bit higher than where we have him at 24. But I think this is an absolute snag for Jacksonville. Right. I think this is such a good pick if they can actually land him. Great player all around. Knows how to play. Knows how to read a quarterback.
100%.
Brian Branch, number 24.
Fast on his feet. Brian Branch is a good player. And he's a Bama player. Can't go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Bama and Georgia, they're putting out players who seem to be star after star in the NFL, especially their first-round picks.
Oh, yeah.
Are fantastic. And we've already seen the fair amount of Georgia players go. It's about time we get another Bama guy since Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got the Giants now, who made some big news today. I don't know if you guys saw. Daniel Jones got his payday, and Saquon Barkley is playing under the franchise tag this year, which is probably not what Saquon Barkley wanted, but it's what the Giants had to do because everyone knows to win in the NFL, you got to lock up your quarterback. So,
of course,
that is what the Giants did. So, what are they going to do here? Now, I think they can definitely keep trying to improve that offensive line. That definitely played a lot better last year. Evan Neal definitely could still use some work. I'm not going to lie. He didn't look great, but he definitely... a lot of offensive tackles don't in year one. They saw the same thing with Andrew Thomas, who was one of the best offensive tackles in football last year. So that definitely can be a thought, but I think it's definitely going to have to be defense. Their corners were definitely not... What's the word I'm looking for? definitely had room for improvement. You could say that at least. Dory Jackson was when he was healthy was good, but wasn't healthy very often. There was a lot of games that I watched last year where Giants corners would just get absolutely torn apart. Especially if you watch that Eagles game when I think they won 48-20 something or whatever it was. It was whoever was out there wasn't getting the job done. So I think you bring in a young guy, especially around one talent, who can maybe become a star from the get go. I think of Cam Smith from South Carolina. He's got some good speed on him. Makes some good plays down the field, especially in the chase down tackling schemes. And listen, he plays good coverage too.
No, the thing about Cam Smith, man, is like he can play literally anywhere, slot, boundary, man. You can throw him literally anywhere on that field, and he's making the play.
Absolutely, and the Giants were so dinged up last year with McKinney getting hurt all the time. Cam Smith is a great plug and play defensive back, and I think that's going to be the pick here at 25 for the Giants.
Love it. 26 Cowboys, same division, rivals.
Boys.
Man.
Yeah.
I hate the Cowboys, man. You got a lot to do. What's going on with Dak? They just put a Tony Pollard on the franchise tag, which is
deservedly so.
I mean, yeah, you got to keep him around. What do you need? I mean, defense is, they don't have a terrible defense. I think it's good. It suffices. They got Micah Parsons. They got Trayvon Diggs. They got some big names back there, improving, getting older now in the league, developing. I think you go defense here. I mean, you got to trust in Dak at some point, he can get the job done when he's healthy. So I think you go defensive here if you're the Dallas GM. I'm going Clark Phillips from Utah, cornerback. It's a later pick. Obviously, all the, corners that you would want fell already. So I think you got to go with a corner, help some coverage issues, that they've had previously. And I think that his size can literally just help Dallas. I mean, they got big players out there, and, you get somebody like Clark Phillips, who's a beefier guy for his size. He's not the tallest, but
definitely, he's got that body weight for being 5'10", 183. He's a little bit of a bullet.
He's a man, bro.
He's got, like the guy Dallas has already, Trayvon Diggs, he's got some ball skills being a former receiver, Clark Phillips can definitely get some stuff done. They seem to have the boundaries taken care of out there in Dallas.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Curse and Diggs, so throw him in the slot, let him make some plays, he's been good in the Pac-12. So, Clark Phillips, good pick, definitely.
Yeah. He's got impressive ball skills, and, he could just cover anything out there. So, I think you at least you gamble with him. Hopefully it works out, give him a few years to develop, and maybe he could turn into something.
100%. Buffalo Bills. See, this would have been one of those dream scenarios where if Bijan Robinson could have fell down, Bills drafted him, but didn't happen. Man, the Bills are in trouble. I think so, at least. They're about to enter a situation where their cap is really going to come back and haunt them. They could. Jordan Poyer is going to be gone this year, so safety is definitely something that pops up. They drafted Kyrie Elam last year, who was a corner. So DB seems to be the theme for the Bills towards the end of the first round. I think it might happen again this year. The guy that is on my radar here for the Bills is Antonio Johnson from Texas A&M. Big guy, 6'3", 200 pounds. He's definitely got some size to him. And that's what they're going to need, for someone who the Bills are probably, like I said, cap situation is not great. They might lose some guys, especially maybe, who knows what happens with Trey White or what's the other, Michael Hyde. Listen, get a guy who is big, lanky, physical, someone who can just go out there and be a playmaker in the ball. They did that with Elam last year. I think the trend continues. Get Antonio Johnson back there, anchor the defense in the back. And listen, maybe he becomes, like I said, not the highest coveted, but he's definitely a top 30 prospect, 100%. So get him back there. SEC talent, those always seem to pan out well. So get him back there, anchor for the Bills, and good things may happen.
One thing I like about him is that he literally can shed any block. Say it's a run play to his side, someone tries to go out there, nope, he's beat.
Yep, Roy could roll him up and put him at linebacker.
I think he could be like that, like all-around player. You could put him here, you could put him there. Oh, yeah. I think he could be huge.
Great pick for the value, I think so.
Yeah, exactly. For the value at 27, I think that's perfect. Now, 28, we got Cincinnati, Brand. Do you go offensive line again? Do you go defense? I don't know. Personally, I think you got to go defense.
I think edge is definitely something to consider.
Edge, definitely, and that's what I'm going to go with. I love Isaiah Foskey from Notre Dame. I think that is what Cincinnati could use right now. Big edge player, somebody that could put pressure onto the quarterback, even play some zone. He's an amped up mover. He can get to get in your face, play physical, can also play
Fast
a
guy,
zone.
man.
Huge fast, or very fast. Playing short ranges, playing medium ranges, not obviously long because he's edge, but I mean, I think this could be a huge X factor for Cincinnati, and I think Isaiah Foskey is the way to go. He's also a big guy, 6'5", 260. So I mean, he's cut. I mean, I think this is the perfect pick.
Good home there. The Bengals fans will love him. He'll love the Bengals fans. Seems like one of the hotter destinations to go play for.
Oh yeah.
In today's NFL. New Orleans Saints and their new quarterback Derek Carr looking to make some moves here at the 29th
Some
overall
breaking
pick.
news,
Right?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr to the Saints. So I mean, your thought process can be, what can we do for our new quarterback off the bat? But I don't know. I think that their scheme's not awful out there. They have a good offensive line. The quarterback seemed to be the missing piece last year, and if Carr can play like a star, which he has in the past, you know, Olave might look a lot better next year. You might have guys like what's his face, Jarvis Landry, make a resurgence. Their tight end, Juwan Johnson, was surprisingly to a lot of people kind of flew under the radar last year. He was really good.
Oh yeah.
So I think you look defense here. They've made some questionable moves in the draft at edge in the past. Like guys like Peyton Turner from Houston. That was kind of a what the heck's going on here type of deal. But I mean, listen, you got some guys still on the board here, like B.J. Ojulari from LSU. I like Keon White too. Has been in the mix. He's in the talks. Nolan Smith, guys like that. I mean, like, really can't go wrong with them. To me though, it's between B.J. Ojulari and Nolan Smith. You have the two SEC products. You got a guy from LSU and from Georgia. But I think it's going to be the Louisiana hometown guy. I think they go with Ojulari here. Good pick. And, you know, for what the Saints do, they got Kim Jordan, who's getting a little older. Like I said, they kind of whiffed on their last edge draft. So, you know what? Take some guy in, get him in the rotation, get him in the, you know, maybe he flies through the ranks and becomes one of those premier players for the Saints. Could be exciting there.
Okay, I like it. Now, with the 30th pick, Philadelphia Eagles, man, I'm taking all the Eagles roles for you, man. But I think same deal. You got to go defense again. Going with Trenton Simpson, from Clemson. He's a linebacker. I mean, he's 6'3", 250. Can literally play deep safety. He could play whatever. He could be on the field and just change the game. You put him with Son Reddick. You put him with those guys. I mean, dude, you could even shadow them a year or two. And I mean, hey, it's the Eagles, man. I mean, they've proven what they can do. So I mean, you put him on the Eagles. Hopefully, he is a spark for them.
Yeah, what I like about him is, you know, tough for the offense to game plan against. You know, where the heck's he going to be on the other side of the ball?
Yeah,
he lines up everywhere. So you know, I'm digging that pick, Trenton Simpson. And now we have the reigning Super Bowl champs. Unfortunately, the Kansas City Chiefs. Should have been the Eagles. That's not a hold. I guess it is a hold, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just butthurt. I think that offensive tackle is definitely something to be considered here because Orlando Brown, I don't think, got franchise tag, so they're going to have to work on an extension for him, which may or may not happen.
Who knows?
Who knows? The Chiefs seem to be, though, like I said, they seem to be hitting on these late round picks, early second round picks.
Oh, yeah.
The offensive line, we saw Creed Humphrey a few years ago get picked, I think, in round 2, and he has been fantastic. Mm-hmm. He's one of the best centers in the NFL. You really can't go wrong with him. So I think the Chiefs here, let's assume that Orlando Brown maybe doesn't come back. Call up Creed Humphrey's alma mater at Oklahoma and say, hey, what's going on there? What do you think about Anton Harrison? And I think what the Chiefs are going to get is a great player who's going to fly through that offensive line scheme like every other draft pick has done. You've seen Spencer Brown from Tennessee go into the 7th round and become a starter for the Chiefs. So Anton Harrison from Oklahoma is going to be my pick at 31 with the Chiefs. They're going to build him into something special, I think.
Absolutely love it.
And that is the conclusion.
That is it, man.
Of our draft.
This has been the U. Tune in for more mock drafts in the future.
Definitely. We'll definitely incorporate some trades. And as news goes on, these picks are highly subject to change. This is our rough, quite literally our rough draft. So let us know what you guys think. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like we said before, this is the U. And you guys have a good night.
Like and subscribe.